Hey everyone, good morning. This is an updated video for this week, end of this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just a couple new setups. And I wanted to get this video out, also do it live there in the morning session here, a little after 8 o'clock. And what we're looking at here, again, leaving off yesterday on the S&P cash, bounced off perfectly off of that top of the channel line. And we started pulling back. Got a nice crossover on the daily, and the 60-minute chart was really one of the key things I was watching. The 60-minute chart got oversold. We looked for that late day bounce. We started getting that late day bounce, but we started flattening out on the stochastics, typically meaning there's more negative movement to come. You know, the embedded stochastics are usually, signal that continued weakness. In this case, weakness is going to be coming up on the charts versus continued strength when you have an embedded stochastic to the upside. And it's really hard to key off of because it just really got oversold. I mean, from one day to the next, news coming out, it's really hard to gauge that. But I think overall, we started looking at some short positions and starting to feel that this was a good combination of things to look at. This 1, 2, 3 pivot area, the overbought daily, overbought 60. And the target right here, 1710 to 1750, seems to be a good level. Could have broke through 1700. That's the initial people the focus. So just look for that little push up to that 1710. A little bit, not to say we're going to exactly be at 1710, but up in this area. So a little follow through overnight. Futures are currently down, and I have something. I did some work yesterday, so I want to bring up some stocks, some possible shorts and possible longs that are setting up. Let's talk about a pretty nice flag that's playing out here in ABBV, which was a spinoff of Abbott Labs, and it's normally just a nice little return back up towards the highs of the session. Stochastics look okay. I overall like this setup, and we'll be looking for a breakout to the upside. So just keep an eye on that one. We got some PBR, started getting that weak. After we got the initial pullback and that initial bounce, we start to see this starting to fade again, and very hard stock to find a bottom. And so I'm going to watch this level. I'd like to see this thing hold up in this 1340 area. If we kind of start to break down towards this 1250 level, that would be I wouldn't want to hold on to it. I don't think. It's just not the thing. But here's a couple of good shorts I like. This is a textbook. Really, I don't really trade the head and shoulders pattern in this market too much, but this is Aetna, and these health insurance stocks have been really extended. And this is really a good looking head and shoulders pattern. A series of higher highs and higher lows, and then we started, not getting that new high here. We're starting to make that right shoulder. This is starting to flatten out a bit. Lots of times we look at this divergence, if we see the stochastic push back up into an overbought level, the price level maintains underneath the recent high, and that represents that right shoulder. In this case, we haven't gotten up oversold. We haven't gotten overbought again. So this, the possibility of this continue to turn up is there, but there is some things that I'm looking at, in this sector. It's just been a very strong sector, and these, some like Cigna, very strong, holding that 20-period moving average, but very similar. It seems to be not breaking out to new highs. These things are starting to flatten out. Aetna, UNH is a little stronger, but the Aetna really, so I'm going to keep an eye on that, see if we actually break down from this head and shoulders formation. And you can see it bigger on the 60-minute chart. So that's something I like. The Mondelez and Kraft, MDLZ, and the Kraft. These are two, I think very positive stocks that are just in the process of flagging out. Maybe we get a push in the Mondelez, maybe we pull back a little bit further, but we're very close to making that move. It is embedded. This is what we look for. This is already paying off for us. We got into this, and it seems to be holding up pretty good. Pre-market, it seems to be holding up pretty good too. And of course, the Kraft KRFT. Again, Kraft looks like a perfect channel. Goes up here, pulls back, bounces back up, it pulls back, and then we should get that breakout. Lots of times, here's a great example of a couple of those flags. Halliburton, HAL. Here's a couple key flags, and sometimes you get that that flag that moves up, pulls back, bounces, but then comes back down and stays within the flag zone before you get that breakout. So even on the KRFT, it does look, it looks like a great flag. The timing is always a little, do we get a little pullback further? Do we push back up here? Does the flag extend out further? I feel this one has a better chance of breaking higher because of the name. But the potential of how a flag works out like that needs to be just considered. So again, the Halliburton, good example of those flags and how they can play out. But overall, if you get that you get a dual stochastic setup, you have a 1, 2, 3 pattern. Normally, you got a good trade off of a trend line up to the top part. Downward channels typically break to the upside, so these end up being very good levels to get into. And let's take a look at JBHT. JBHT is another possible short setup here. This one's a little more overbought. We have an upper trend line that continues to hold us back, and then we have this kind of rising channel line. It's nothing really here yet. Kind of broke down, but mainly we're starting to see we're at the top part of this range, and we were starting to cross over. So I kind of like this also as a possible breakdown. So JBHT, another possible short. And last stocks I want to go over for today is the Altria, right on that trend line, decent candlestick. I'm going to be paying attention to this one very closely today. The Philip Morris also very, very tightly wound up on right between the two channel lines. And the one I'm currently in is RAI, Reynolds American. And again, does this push up towards this trend line, and do we pull back like we're just showing on classic examples of these flags? So this, we're going to come up to a little resistance here. We might be very close to it. This might be a, even though we have a small profit in it, like I said, never count your chickens before they hatch, as they say. Just understand some of the signals might be saying that we could get a pullback into this channel, so we might want to just take that off. We're overbought on the 60-minute chart too. We're overbought on the daily. We're coming up on this trend line. We could even turn over and start to push back down into this. So that's what we're looking at today. I'd love to see the Mondelez move higher and the Kraft move higher. Futures are currently down, and I'm going to send this video out just in case someone misses it. I don't have to put it out. I'll just post it on the site. This will some ideas for today. And again, market here kind of trading down a little. Take a look at the futures currently are down. What are we at here? Currently S&P futures down 475 off the lows, overnight lows, which came in a little under 1686. It's starting to grind back up. All right, so I'll send that off. And I'm done with that. So, how you like that? That was painless. Hi, Dawit. Good. How you doing? Did I just turn off the? What did I just turn off? Did I just turn off the video? I'm off the air?